You was in survival mode. It was predator prey. You know, it was really like that. Like when you come up in the projects, and it's anywhere, any projects that low income projects like that, you know, you're gonna have obstacles to overcome. You know, because the violence is gonna be up. Poverty is going to be in there, and it's going to force you to do a lot of things that you normally wouldn't do.
This situation that I'm in, yo, I'm just trying to feed my kids. I know that's not the way to live, so please forgive me for my sins. This situation that I'm in, yo, I'm just trying to feed my...
I reached out to the guys. I've been a long-time Project Born fan, going back all the way to the early 90s. A friend of mine had the cassette tape of Losing It and kind of turned me on to it, and it kind of just snowballed from there. They were always on my radar, man. I always dug them. I came close a few times to meeting the guys. I knew a dude that knew a dude that knew a dude that was the street team guy.
I was thinking like, yo, I gotta make sure he's legit, but when I met him, you know what I'm saying, we talked for about an hour in the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? And the vibe was good. You know, he seemed like he was on point and everything, because I kind of, you know, get a good vibe or a bad vibe, and I detect it off the rip and either move on or keep, you know what I'm saying, rolling with it. But it was a good vibe, and we connected, and ever since then, we've been good.
We had been talking about it for a minute, you know, thinking we've been rapping for close to 30 years. So I say probably around the 15-year mark, 15, you know, between 15 to 20. Like, we had enough to do a book at that point, like, you know, for everything that we had been through, and then we finally, you know, after we, you know, met Mike, and it was like, you know, it was like it can actually come together.
Okay, now tell me what's happening. You no longer rapping, you all about bitches and money and weed. A young nigga strapped in straight ready for action. The cameras is flashing, that's all that you see. I can smell death in the air, demons is lurking, but all you care about is the bitches that's twerking. Your pockets ain't hurting, you put on the show when they open the curtains. And homie, for certain, you can't take it with you. The devil is working and he out to get you. You wanna get richer, but missing the picture. No sin is forgotten, the Lord please forgive him. Teach him a lesson, you count on your blessings. Your mother is stressing, them haters is guessing about who you gon' see, about where you gon' be. And then they gon' run up with that Smith & Wesson. You could get money for rocking the show, instead you want paper for rocking the snow. Taking the trust of me with your connect, when you could be on your way finna turn pro. Ask my bro Nitty, he'll tell you I know. Got my bro Vic, keep it down 24. Say Lord is my witness and ask for forgiveness to be about your business, and then you can grow. This situation that
as we sit down, just interviewing, letting the recorder run, just stories, and then like when I read the book, you know, after the finish, you know, it got done, I'm sitting reading it and I'm laughing at some of the stories that we talked about, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, I forgot about that. Damn, I forgot that happened. We got this happen. So it's real interesting.
We did a song a long time ago called Forever in the Jects. It had to be, I say, more close around 1990, 91. There's some of our pre-recording. We had a Trump song, you know, that was called Forever in the Jects, and, you know, that was supposed to be in our first record, you know, that come out was gonna be Forever in the Jects. So I guess we took that. I guess we've been holding on to Forever in the Jects for forever. So now it's like we did that, and, you know, we got to this book now. So we finally get the release of Forever in the Jects.
Now 5-0 and 5 hoes bring you down, so 5-0 and wise foes keep you around, straight struggling from day one. You getting done, I pack my thing. You can't hang, so don't come, I'm taking yours. You try to take mine, I got it.
The stories write themselves. Like, from all our experiences of violence and drugs and poverty and all, it's right there. It's every time you step out the door, it was right there in your front yard. So it was nothing to walk out and see the police chasing somebody, or somebody shooting dice on the corner, or somebody fighting, or somebody shooting, or, you know, somebody slinging drugs. That was every day. Every day you step out the door, you've seen it every day. So it's always something to report about. Like, we're nothing but project reporters.
There's always going to be entertainers out there that are just, you know, they're entertaining, man, and they got a message or a story or something in whatever. But when you go into Project Born's history, man, it's a whole different ball game, because what you're dealing with is actual real life shit that really happened. It's not just, hey man, this would be a really cool gangster rap song or some bullshit. These guys were out on Morningside, man, doing their thing, getting down after hours, you know, and surviving in a very, very tough environment. I mean, late 80s, early 90s in Flint was no joke, and it's still not a joke. I mean, it's you can lose your life over there. You really can.
Of course, he did interviewed us, and then, you know, we went and got some family members. Then, you know, we ran around the city, filming, the neighborhood. I mean, pictures of the neighborhood where we come from, the projects, and going down to Detroit, old venues that we performed at back in the days, and and stuff like that.
I mean, that's the whole thing of starting to do music. Like when you do music, it's like you kind of report, like when we first got started, like we start off with losing it, which doesn't seem to be as much as gangster as it seems to be wicked. But I believe at some point in everybody's life they tend to lose it. Like they get to a point in life where they get fed up, and they just and they just kind of like off scale. That's what I call when I think like you're losing it. Like you're losing it. Like. Because I don't believe it's not one person in life, period, ever, who ever lived in life, period, that has never at some point just lost it, just has been, off. So like when we got started, it was like, it was this, and then we started reporting everything that happened from that point on, in our life to all the way up to this day.
They told it exactly like it is, When we were doing the book, we went out on the location over to the projects, in Carpenter Road, and got to see some of the old apartments where the guys lived and stuff, and it's just as real today as it was 20, 30 years ago.
The old fans from the beginning, like just to relive those moments that we had back in the early 90s, mid 90s, 2000s, and then for the newer fans that's reading it and not knowing about the history, but reading it as it go on, then the history that we're making now to this day. So it's gonna be good for all readers.
We're human. We go through stuff also that regular humans go through. So when you think like everything that we have in the book that we put down, that we went through, like any regular person picks it up, they're gonna look at it, it's gonna be excitement. Because it's just like, it tells us just a story of just, we had everything from poverty to coming up to this, to drugs, to that, to music, to, it's every level, and it's something that everybody on every walk of life can relate to, at some point in their life. It's so many levels to it. To anybody, they be, it's good for everybody.
Forgive me for all my sins. Sometimes I drown it in some vodka or a fifth of that hen. I am so far from perfect, and I won't even pretend that I won't have to take a life before my time here ends. My paranoia got me riding and tripping. Too many ears, but they can't hear me, so I just keep on sipping. No sin is greater than the other, yeah, that's what they done told me. I just want to become better than my past, yeah, that owe me. They show me my greatness, been broke down, can't take this, mistake this, made daily, so sinners, they pay me. The way we came up was hard, but all that struggling made me. Even when you think you went through sinning, man, that karma's crazy. They can pay KD for that AP, it'd be hard to replace me. I done been through it all, ain't a fool out here can break me. Don't mistake me with no other, I'm staring the pot. We on our way to the top, each you coming or not.
It's how they are all the time, and it's I think a credit to who they are as people, man. From being raised by their mom and like just the values that they have, they're good dudes, man, and they've been a pleasure to work with.
Yeah, to the old fans, we just want to say to them, man, we appreciate them sticking around with us all these years, 25 plus years, and make sure to pick up this book, because when you hear these stories and you just sit back reading, you're like, damn, I was there at that show, or I remember that album, or I remember this, flyer or whatever. And for the new fans, when you read it, you catch up on the history of Project Born if you don't know, and you ride with us as we still making history for the legacy of Project Born. So it's for all readers.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you all for any show you attended, any merchandise you ever bought, anytime you sit down, we had a conversation. Without the family, we don't exist. We don't exist without every juggalo or every family member that we have done for, like shows and this and that, you know, we appreciate you. We appreciate you way more than these words is putting out there. You know, I wish I could go by everybody's house and shake their hand and hug them. Like, I really do. Like, that's really how I feel. Because, like, it has been a lot of genuine people that we have met doing music. Like, I made friends, you know, and just a lot of people who have just, you know, had a lot of hands into making who Project Born was. So I appreciate everybody for everything they have done from day one to this day.
You know, when we started the music, we didn't know that we was gonna have a book written about us. We didn't know we was gonna go on tour. We didn't know we was gonna meet all these great artists and work with a lot of great people. We just thought, we coming from the projects. Our neighborhood was like our own city. So to be at this level right now, 25 plus years later, man, it's a great feeling, man.
They got us struggling deep down in Flint, Michigan, you know what I'm saying? Got them Project Thugs struggling. But we gonna do it like this, though.